Three, two, one. Welcome to the
You nailed that, bro.
woof. Welcome to the Lion's Den. I'm Shauna.
I am Christina, and we have a very special guest today. Everybody say hi to Sabrina.
Hello, everyone.
I'm so
So happy
excited.
to be
Okay.
here.
We are so excited to have you here. I was just making a video on TikTok and I was like, we have been planning this for a hot minute.
Oh my
Mhm.
God. I'm so excited to be here. Like thrilled. I feel so honored that I could be here with the two of
Oh.
you. And your energy is like connective and energetic and like honestly, like it's a little addicting. I'm just like, this is fun.
It's funny you say that because back before my wonderful best friend became a mother a couple years ago, we used to go out for girls' night, and it would be every week. It was girls' night, and it would be me and her. My husband had the kids. He knew it was girls' night, and he's like, "Go out and have fun." And we would go out, and I think people maybe are not used to girls that don't want people to talk to them at the bar. Like, we're not there for anybody's entertainment. We're not there to make friends. We are there
No.
because that's my best friend, and we're going to have some drinks and be stupid. And we would be on that dance floor alone,
I
having
love
the
that.
time of our lives,
Oh
and
my
people would
God.
just kind of like gravitate, and they would be like, remember those guys would buy us drinks, and I remember the one across from us at the bar. Yeah, he had been watching us all night, but like not in he was just like watching because we're kind of big personalities. And after about 2 hours, he sent over drinks, and of course, we're bitches, and we were like, like don't, please don't come over here. But he was like, I just wanted to tell you that you guys are having so much fun, and I love watching it. So here's a drink for you guys. And we were just like, okay, that's cool. Like that's
That is cool. I mean, it is like addicting, but joy has like that radiance, right? Like that joy, it's like it's pure light and all the
that's how I
moths are
feel
just gonna
about
like,
that's how I feel
yeah.
about you, and that's how I described you to Shauna, because I've been
Thank
following
you.
you on TikTok for a while now, and you always like when your face pops up, I'm instantly like,
Yep.
Aw.
Me too.
yeah, your energy is just like, oh, it's just like you said, addicting. It's contagious. It just makes me feel good. And so
It
when I
feels
see
like
you,
it feels like a warm hug.
Aw.
yes,
Yeah.
it does. And you always like, I'll be scrolling and your face pops up and it's an instant smile, and you're like, stop scrolling, my love. And I'm like,
Yep.
I'm here. Here I am.
Aw. I'd love to hear that. That's so sweet. That's so
Yeah.
awesome.
And then you're like, if I'm finding you and you're finding me, it means that we are energetically aligned. I'm like, fuck yeah, we
Wow.
are.
You have like a whole thing memorized. That's amazing.
I'm your stalker. Just kidding.
Oh God.
Surprise.
Surprise.
Wouldn't that be some shit?
Well, Sean, I feel like you would be the first to tell me if that was true or
I would tell you.
not.
It's not. It's not true.
Okay. I didn't think
She would
so.
tell you, and then she would turn to me and be like, I'm so sorry. So sorry I had to tell.
I had to tell.
Um, so as a psychic medium, do you get overwhelmed in like crowds? Like, do you pick up on other, or have you ever, and you've learned how to kind of ground and protect yourself, or kind of like, what's that like as a psychic medium who does pick up on energies?
So I used to, and then it would go on and off. The great thing about me is that I have ADHD. So, like, if I'm really focused on, like, I have to go buy this thing right now, and I become like hyper focused and like compulsive about it, I don't really think about a lot of other things. But,
Okay.
for instance, if I'm standing in line and I am completely bored and, and I'm just like literally just like, just waiting. Like those really long Ross and Marshalls lines and
Oh
stuff.
my
So
Yes.
like
God.
so if
Yep.
I'm like standing there and I'm just like, okay, what's going on? I will get like a thing that like just like boop pops in and I'm just like, now, right
It's
now.
Is that why you sometimes do your readings in your car?
Yeah, that does happen. I did try to figure out, like, okay, if I wear a hat, will that work?
Mm-hmm.
If I don't wear a hat, will that work? If I wear a certain article of clothing, will that work? And ultimately, I decided that it was me who had to control my focus and my mind. And then once I figured that out, I was just like, if I don't want to talk to you, you need to get the fuck away from me.
Yes. My
Story
kind
of
of
my
woman.
life.
Yeah, all of these things. Like I stopped dressing myself and feeding myself a long time ago. I'm exaggerating. Honestly, there's just certain days where they're just like, you have to wear this. And I'm just
Interesting.
like, okay. And then on those days, people will comment like, oh my gosh, and the horses or the Minnie Mouse or the Alice in Wonderland shirt, like that was my sign or whatever. Like people will say things like that. And I'm like,
That
That's
that's
is
crazy.
so
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There's like messages and everything. I stopped believing in coincidences a long time ago. And after that went completely out the door, I was like, cool. Like I just work here. Like that's awesome.
I am
Have you?
just a vessel.
Yep, that's it. I'm just a vessel. I'm just like the messenger. Here it is.
Yeah. Do
I'm
you
Yeah.
trying to
ever
take my knee brace off. I'm sorry.
go
Oh
for it?
no. Are you
Oh
okay?
God. What?
Are you okay?
Oh, I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm just broken all over.
Oh, we're gonna talk
She
about
has
that sometime, Shauna.
Oh fuck.
she has knees that sound like pop rocks. Both of them.
That's my favorite candy.
Not in my knees.
This one time she was going up and down my stairs and it just happened to be real quiet and all you heard was grinding kneecaps. I was like,
Oh
"Bro, are you
no.
okay?" And she's like, "No, they're shot."
But you have
That's
like no more cartilage.
Yeah.
Shauna, that just makes me like, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh,
My nephew asked me one time, he's like, do you have like rice in your knees? No.
oh God.
it sounds horrific. Doesn't stop her from
Dang.
dropping it low and shaking that ass though. She'll just take some ibuprofen and deal with it
Get
tomorrow.
it.
I
Fucking
have
get
to.
it.
I have to.
Get it.
Okay, so one of my questions. So I am I don't know how to so ever since I've been a kid, I have now I realize picked up on energies, right? As a kid, I didn't understand that's what was happening. And so
Yeah.
I would feel things and react to things that didn't make sense to myself and to other people, right? And I would have very, very strong reactions in crowds. And I still do to this day, but I have learned to kind of, I'm not great at it, but if I'm in the right headspace, I can ground myself and put up a protection. But
Yes.
if I am already overstimulated, it's impossible.
Yeah,
And
that ship sailed for sure.
gone,
Yep.
gone.
Yep.
And so I get very like sometimes I'll just leave. Like I'll be like, I have to get out of here right now. Shauna's
Yeah.
like, yeah, you do.
Bye
Um,
bye.
bye. Uh, so my question is, as I'm learning, so I started my spiritual journey right after my son's cancer journey. That was really what
It's
triggered it for
beautiful.
me. And it was, I actually have a very cool story. So my son complained of knee pain in October of 2020. And he said, my knee hurts. And I thought, well, I had growing pains at his age. And I also had I had to have a knee brace right around that same period. I had something called Osgood-Schlatters.
Should not
Okay,
be funny, but it's funny.
it is.
Sorry.
Especially when I was like, what, 10? And I was like, I've got Osgood-Schlatters or something.
Oh my God, that's
And
precious.
yeah, so I thought he's not an active kid. It wasn't a sports injury. I'm just thinking, well, he just has growing pains, you know? And a couple weeks went by and he started to limp really badly. And I
Mm.
thought, uh, that's weird. It shouldn't be this bad. So I took him to his doctor. I'm trying to make a very long story short. Took him to his doctor. and she felt something in the knee, and she said, I want to get him an x-ray with the sports doctor. And I was like, cool. So I said, we went to the sports doctor, they did an x-ray, they walk in, and then there's a nurse, and she immediately says to Jaden, do you want to go get some candy? And I thought, why are they sending him out of the room before they talk to me? And
Yeah.
so he went out, and he bluntly said, I have never in my life seen this. And he showed me the x-ray, and it looked like he had thousands of pieces of gravel in the knee. And
Oh
he
my
goes,
God.
yeah, he was like, I've never seen anything like this. He said, my fear is this is cancer. And he said, so I want you to go to an oncologist ASAP. And so that started
Wow.
October. Yeah,
Of
that
what
started
year?
October 2020, right in the middle of COVID.
Okay. Oh God.
And so we went to the oncologist, and he did an MRI. He did a PET scan. So they inject it with dye, and then they show the whole
Right.
body. And the PET scan, they send Jaden out of the room before they talk to me, and he pulls it up on the screen, and his entire left leg lit up like a Christmas tree. From the thigh all the way to the toes, thousands of black specks throughout his whole left leg.
Oh
And
God.
yeah, he's like, I don't know what this is. He's like, I'm going to be very honest with you. He goes, I've never seen anything like it. And so he said, I want to do a biopsy right away. And he's like, and then we're going to get some answers. So we scheduled the biopsy. I think at that point it was November, maybe. I think it was like late November by the time we got the biopsy done. So then 3 weeks later, 3 weeks after that, he calls me again, and he goes, I think I have a name for it. And he was like, it's called pseudomyogenic hemangioendothelioma.
I just want to
Mouthful.
stop and give you props for like remembering that and pronouncing it well and
I can
like
spell it too at this point.
look at
Um,
this. This is incredible right here.
Wild. So
That
my
is
point
wild.
was that we waited a very long time from biopsy to getting a diagnosis, right? And the day that we got the diagnosis, I had received a child support payment from my son's biological father. Okay.
Trash
And
can.
trash can dad, that's what my son calls him. Instead of bio dad, he's like, oh, biodegradable dad. So he's a trash can. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. That's where we're at with
So
that. Okay.
he's not, he's just never been in his life, and it's whatever. But I got this child support payment, and I thought it was really weird because I hadn't received child support in quite a long time. He had always been like paying and not paying and paying and not paying.
Oh, I gotcha.
So I get an email, and when he did pay, it would be like $35 or like $50. Like it would just be chump change. So I get the email on my phone, and I open it the same day that I get this diagnosis, and it pops up on the phone, and it says his first name, his middle name, the payer, and then the dollar amount. Okay. And the way that it pops up, I'm not going to say his first name, but his middle name was John. So it said first
Okay.
name, John, and then $447. That was the child support payment.
Such a
$447.
random. Okay.
Random.
Such a
So
random amount. Okay.
so I'm staring at it, and I'm like, I've never received this much money from this man. Wild. But my brain doesn't have time. I'm just like, I need to go get in the shower. I need to cry. I need to go handle life. So I
Yeah.
get in the shower, and this was the first time I can say I ever got a very clear download. And
Okay.
the message that popped into my head as I'm showering was John 4:47 is a Bible verse. And I was like, what? And so
It
I
shut
it
the
would
fuck up. Are you
Swear to
serious?
God.
swear to
That
God.
Oh
that
my
was my
God.
reaction. That was
Yeah.
my reaction.
So as it will not go away. John 4:47,
Okay.
Bible verse, Bible verse, Bible verse. So I jump out of the shower. I'm not even drying myself off yet. And I'm grabbing my phone, and I'm searching up John 4:47.
Yeah, chapter 4,
Yep.
verse 47. Okay.
Yes. You can look this up later, but it literally
I'm
says,
holding back all of the urges to like jump online right now and do it. Yeah,
you
I want
should. It's wild. Yeah, look it up.
It's
Look
like
it
I
up.
have to see this. I have
You're
got
going
to see this.
to
I have
freak.
to.
I'll wait. Go ahead.
I have to. I'm sorry. Okay, it says this is the AI overview on Google, right?
Hmm.
In John 4:47, a royal official hearing that Jesus had come to Galilee went to him and begged him to come down and heal his son, who was near death. And Jesus said, "Unless you people see signs and wonders, you will not believe." Bitch, shut up. I love this so much.
Yep.
Yes. So then, if you keep reading, he says, "Go, your son will
Okay.
live.
Uh-huh. Yes, he
Your
will.
son will live."
That's right.
I
Thank
have
you so
goosebumps
much.
again.
Ah,
And so that message, that download came in the day my son was diagnosed with cancer. Okay. All I remember hearing and holding on to was, "Go, your son will live." So from that moment on, I knew without a shadow of a doubt that regardless of what this journey did to us or where it took us, he was going to live. I knew this. I
Yep.
knew this. And so that carried me through this 18-month cancer journey. This carried me through watching my son have to get blood draw every single day. He had to go and get his blood drawn at the hospital. He doesn't like needles. He cried. He did so well. I had to watch him get cancer treatment 12 hours long that destroyed him. And I just knew he's going to live. It doesn't matter because he's going to live. And
that's beautiful. That
yeah,
is so powerful.
so that's what really kicked
Wow.
off my spiritual journey was I got this download at the lowest point of my life, and it carried me through. Like I was able to get through. I would never have gotten through this without hope that that download gave me, right?
Yep.
That's
And
so powerful.
it's wild. And so my point through that long-winded journey was that that's where my spiritual journey started, right? So that's we got through. Jaden had he was not able to, the treatments didn't work on the tumors. This is a very rare tumor. It's less than 100 people, I believe, that have ever been diagnosed with this cancer. And he has the worst, most widespread version of it. And so we got
I
through
have a
that. He had,
question.
yeah,
Was it the left leg or the right leg?
it was the left leg.
It
Hmm.
was the left leg. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So I don't know if you're just really quickly, I don't know if you're familiar with like any of like these types of like your body tells you a story, like tells you what's wrong, like
Okay.
spiritually, like what's going on. So I studied and I've read like Dolores Cannon at length. And
Okay.
Dolores Cannon, I lovingly, jokingly call her my grandma. I love her so much. She died in 2014. She created what is known as the quantum healing hypnotherapy, I think hypnotherapy technique. It's QHHT. And she actually she started because of her husband, but
Jot
she
that down.
yeah, QHHT Dolores Cannon, she's my grandma, but not really. And
Okay.
um and she through her several sessions where she would regress people to the somnambulous state, which is the theta state of the brain, was able to regress people to their past lives.
I want to do that so
It's
bad.
really, really
Me
cool.
too.
So I took the first class. I never like I practice on people. I've never like there's like a portion where you like submit the paperwork and all that kind of
Okay.
stuff and like and that so that way you can be on the I'm not on the website or anything like that. But I've had really good friends and people who I love and who love me like go like, yeah, like practice on me, like it's fine. And what happened is like I learned a lot in that class, and just that one class about like if something happens in the left side of the brain, it means or the left side of the body, it means one thing, and on the right side, it means another thing. And
Okay.
on the left side of the body, it has something to do with a past life. So while you're talking to me, I'm getting like different downloads. And Donna, I love how you just hype so hard. And I'm getting different downloads, and I'm getting that this could be like several things, but the biggest thing that I'm getting, and we wouldn't really know for sure unless like he did do a QHHT session, obviously
Okay.
with like somebody who's like credible and all that stuff. But I actually wonder if it's like a war injury from like a
That's
past
what I
life.
was gonna say. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, so I wonder if it's a
Whoa.
if it's like if he fought in a war. That's what I keep getting. I was like, he so honestly,
I
like the
have
download,
goosebumps.
if your goosebumps are your confirmation,
They
then like
are.
trust that. Okay. So what I'm getting is that like he was in a war, he fought in a war, and um there wasn't enough. Typically this happens when there isn't enough time between lives.
Okay.
So, well, this could be this is the situation. So like he has tumors all up and down his left leg. And I'm like, okay, if there wasn't enough time between the war that he fought in and this current life, his soul is bringing the trauma that he hasn't healed from and released into the current life. And you see this a lot. And that is the reason why QHHT works. But there's what I keep getting is that he's suffered some kind of bomb explosion and it's like leftover shrapnel. And it's like his soul is like not able to release the trauma of this. I actually also wonder if he maybe did have a leg amputated and he did survive that war or something like that. And so it's almost as if like he hasn't finished healing. He like didn't have enough time to heal like emotionally and spiritually from that process. And so it's like he brought
It
it
carries
to this
into the
he
next life.
cared yeah, he carried it into the next life. Dolores Cannon talks about that with like vows. What one of the thing that I just remembered right now or just downloaded into me right now is vows. So if somebody takes a vow of celibacy, let's say somebody was a monk and they took a vow of celibacy, that vow will I know right?
Who the fuck would do that?
Couldn't be me.
uh not me. I came this close to it in this lifetime, but we'll get to that later. But
Yeah.
yeah, so but I like that will carry over into the next like where sex could be really hard for somebody. And are you okay?
I'm good. I'm trying to jot all this down.
I love it. I love it. So yeah, like if somebody takes a vow of celibacy, that could be like very difficult to like you're like to kind of get out of your head that like sex is a good thing, you know? Um, these are like I mean, and we all know people from all different types of walk and like everywhere in different places in their lives and we hear about all kinds of crazy stuff where it's just like your early childhood trauma has nothing to do with the trauma that you're dealing with now, you know? And a lot of times that is the case. Your early childhood trauma has a lot to do with what you're dealing with now. That is typically the case. But in a situation like your son, where it's just like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
Right?
You
Yeah.
know what's so crazy that you say that is the first person that we got in touch with when we found out that an amputation was on the table was a war vet, Ben, who
Ben.
lost his leg in Iraq. And Ben came over and really just made my son feel so comfortable.
That's
I
so
mean,
awesome.
this is a 13-year-old boy at this time who is sitting here saying, "Yeah, take the leg. Like I don't want to do this anymore." You know, he said, "I cannot live like this. I cannot
Yeah.
live with this pain. I cannot live with the treatments and the pokes and this and that." He said, "I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore." And
Yeah.
Ben came over and just talked to him about like what to expect. And Ben actually did have, you know, lost it to a bomb explosion, and he did have shrapnel. I mean, it shredded his entire lower half. Um,
Yeah.
they were able to save the one leg, but it's very messed up. But they weren't able to save the other one, so that's very fascinating. Speaking about past lives, I'm actually just starting to read The Witch Wound, and
Okay. I've heard of that
yeah,
book. I haven't read that book.
Me
it's
neither.
really it's really. Sean is not a reader.
That's okay. That's okay.
You're getting into reading. Did you
Yeah.
finish The Nightingale? Okay, well,
Well, that's okay. Honestly, like reading books is hard for me. It's always been hard. I was a C student all throughout my life. Yes. Shout out to Albert Einstein. What?
Hey. It's so hard for me to focus on any of that. Like an
Well,
audiobook or a regular book, my brain's just like
totally.
bye
I get the same
bye.
way. So that's why I have to be like on, I have to be, so I used to listen to a lot of the audiobooks at the gym or when I, but now it's like laundry, dishes, vacuuming,
And Shauna, it's very
grocery.
hard. You're the only one here that has a child under 2. You're
You
a
have a
little
child under
busy.
2 still? Okay, yeah, girl. Like, no, give yourself a break. Don't read right now. You're fine.
I
Don't
just
even
You
want to
listen
are
to
sleep.
shit.
fine.
I just want to
Yeah.
sleep.
Yeah, you just want to sleep. I'm so grateful that you're here right now. Thank you so much for being here. Like, shit.
She's the
He's not
best.
crying anymore, so that's good.
That's awesome. That's so awesome.
Hopefully
And
he's
Well,
asleep.
I think when my kid was 2, I'm so sorry we keep like talking over each other. But
You're fine.
when my kid was 2, I think, or my oldest was 2, I think it was still very much in survival mode. I was just like, yeah, dude, like, yeah, no, you're
Yep.
fine.
It's not.
she's had a
It's
rough couple of weeks for sure.
Mm. Oh,
And then
God
on
bless
top of
you.
it, Sabrina, on top of it,
Yeah.
she's planning a wedding in June.
Stop. For
So
who? For yourself? For
yeah.
someone else?
Thank
Congratulations.
you. Thank
It's
you.
fabulous.
he's the
Ooh, look at
literal
that.
best. Yes.
Oh, I love that. Look at it. I love it.
He is the
Wait,
best.
there it is.
Thank God.
Yay,
Thank
that's
God.
awesome.
I
She
know.
went through some doozies, Sabrina, and then Spirit was like, ah, and just
I
Literally.
dropped
mean,
Colby.
shit, yeah.
Just
I've
right
also,
in front of
yeah.
me.
I
Here you
love
go.
that. That's so awesome. I think a lot of people on this spiritual journey, when you know you're supposed to be with somebody, you know you're supposed to be with somebody, right?
Yep.
And yeah, I'm really happy for you. That's
Thank
really
you.
awesome.
On
Yay.
top of all of that, I also work too, so there's that.
You work, you're a mom. Did you breastfeed?
Fuck no.
For a day. We are not those
No.
mothers. We're like, take a bottle and shut up.
I tried. I tried. It was 3 days, and I was like, nope. I called the
She
doctor.
texted me.
I was like, get
Yep.
me formula right now. I cannot do this.
She texted me
You,
7 a.m. She goes, I can't do this. I'm going to get formula. I said, I applaud you for trying.
yeah,
And
honestly, yeah, fed is best for
Yep.
sure. Like you just want to make sure that baby is alive and well and kicking and crying and breathing and pooping and peeing. Like
It's a
doesn't matter
lot.
how.
mental health is so important. It's so important. Fed
Yep.
is best.
And mine
Fed is
was
best.
fading. So that's why I
Fading.
got formula. Quick, faster in
Yeah,
a hurry. It was like almost out the door.
good for you. I also respect that you waited until 7 a.m. to text her. I
Oh yeah.
respect that because I know you wanted to text her at 3 in the morning.
Oh yeah.
So
She knows that she could have. I wouldn't have seen it until I woke
No.
up
yeah.
because that's just.
Just the thought, like I think the reason why I'm pointing it out is because in all of your stress and agony, you were like, I'm waiting until 7 to text her.
That's who Shauna
Like
is, though. That's who
just the
Shauna has always
compassion.
been. Hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
always
She
thinking
doesn't
about everybody
care.
else.
Hmm. Yep.
Hmm.
Shauna goes last, but you're getting much, much, much better at this. I'm watching you in real time, like step into your power, and it's
Oh, I
been
love this.
phenomenal.
Oh
I
my
have just been
God.
like I've known her for 10 years, you know. I've seen her from the
A
moment she
little
was leaving,
baby.
a little baby. I've watched her literally in the middle of leaving a marriage, watched her go through all of that, watched her go through
Wow.
these shitty relationships, watched my best friend be destroyed, and to watch her now be loved the way that she deserves to be loved, to stand up for herself the way that she should, to know that
Wow.
she's the shit. It's been like just the best. It's been the best.
Wow. I
Yeah.
love that. That's so
Yeah.
You
That's
two
my
are
queen.
just like soulmate. You two are I
We
mean, it's
are.
obvious. It's obvious, right? It's
Yep.
so obvious that the two of you are soulmates, but it's just so beautiful to see.
That's
The
my boo,
love.
man.
I love
You
it.
know, we've talked about this before that like I think I have like two other best friends, but they're all different.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're
Yeah.
all different like levels of I wouldn't say levels, but they're just different. Like my oldest friend Chrissy is my ride or die. She's been there since I was 17 years old. You know, she watched me go through, you know, the things that I have watched Shauna go through, and
Yeah.
she supported me through those. And then I have another best friend who is like my college best friend, and we did college together. And then I met Shauna, and Shauna is like the sister. Shauna's the
Yeah.
soulmate. Shauna's that person that we don't even have to talk. I
No.
can feel her energy through the phone.
I love
I just
that.
know. I'm like, dude, what's wrong?
Yeah.
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 Every time.
That's just beautiful, like soul connection, soul alignment, soul family. Like it's just so beautiful. I love
I'm
that, you
very thankful
guys.
that I have my soul family. And I love that it's her, and I love that she lives a block away. If I step outside right now, I could
Stop, that's
yell.
so cool.
I'm waving. I'm waving at your house right now.
Yep. Yeah.
Stop all
So,
this
okay.
mushy stuff. I'll cry. Stop it.
Aw,
You cry
you
in the
guys.
shower like a fucking adult.
Oh, I do. That's where I cry.
It's where everybody does it, right?
They
Like,
should.
Okay.
If they don't, they're fucking dumb.
I do cry in the bathtub sometimes. That is also very cathartic.
Now, let me ask this because I feel that we are all water. Do you have a special thing with water?
I do have a special thing with water. I do. It keeps me alive. I'm just kidding. No.
Hydrate or die. Hydrate or die.
That was a good one. That was a
Drink
really
your
good one.
fucking water.
Cheer. Yeah,
As I,
Christina.
as,
Drink your fucking water, Christina.
No, I do have a special thing with water. My wife is a Scorpio. My wife is a water sign,
oh,
and she's a November Scorpio.
Ooh.
And
whoa.
yes,
No. Wait, what are you,
she's not.
Sabrina?
I'm a Taurus.
Mm.
Ooh, that's
So
why. Okay.
yeah, we're
I just have bad jujus with November Scorpios. Like,
But we're Leos. That's just how it goes.
that's kind of how it goes for you guys. So she yeah, she's a November Scorpio. I am an April Taurus.
Ooh, is your birthday
Um
coming up?
it is
You don't have to
coming up
tell
at
me
the
your
end of the
date.
month. Yeah, it's okay. It's coming up at the end of the month. And then yeah, like I think that is, but she's not like the first water sign that I've ever been with. I was with a Leo. My ex-husband was a Leo for a very long
ooh.
time.
Can I just go ahead and apologize right now?
It's okay. You don't have
Leo
to.
men
Leo
are the
men
actual
suck.
worst.
We don't
Leo
have to
men,
apologize anymore. I mean, look at like we have a good co-parenting relationship right now,
thank
which is
God.
really great. It's really amazing. I'm so grateful for that. It took a lot of work, I think, on both our parts. Um,
That's amazing.
but-
Congratulations.
Thank you very, very much. I really, and he also had to deal with like because he's from all I can see and from what the kids tell me and everything, like he still seems very single. So he's had to go through me getting married and everything, and
Right.
he's still not an asshole, you know. So I
Good.
just I just publicly want to give him props for that.
That's amazing. I love that
Yes.
because that is rare. And anytime that people can put their kids first and work together, I'm just like, oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. I feel like I should also give myself a lot of like credit.
Yeah, you
You know?
should. You're that bitch. You are that bitch.
I just like
Woo! Yeah,
thank you so
own it.
much for that one.
You
Anyway.
hair flip.
I mean, seriously though, I'm trying not to be like so dramatic because I know my wife's gonna see this. She'd be like laughing at me and she'd be like, look at you right there. You like did the whole thing.
Yes, we
As
love
you
a
should.
confident ass
As you
bitch.
should.
Yes. But yeah, my wife is a Scorpio. She's absolutely amazing. She is 100% the love of my life. We've already like
Yay.
had some
Oh,
like duke it out like fights, you know? So the fact that we both stayed, I'm just like, we're in it for life, y'all. Like this,
I ain't doing this shit again. I can tell you that.
mm-mm. Not only that, but I'm just like, I'm not going anywhere. She's fucking awesome. So
I love
yeah.
love.
I love love.
Oh.
I
Yeah,
love
she's
it.
she's amazing. And I've had just I've had such an amazing privilege of like knowing her, and honestly just like the privilege of knowing her, and like um
I'm
you
gonna
know like
cry.
when you get to, oh, don't cry. That's very sweet. Like I think just like getting into the process of like meeting somebody, meeting where they're at, and then understanding where they want to go and giving them that space to the best of your
Yes.
ability, because I am not perfect at all. Like I have a lot of flaws and I'm very, very human, and um like, you know, to the best of my ability, giving somebody the space to flourish and become what they want to be. Just I'm the lucky one for sure. Yeah. I'm
I
the
feel
lucky
that.
Aww.
one. Yeah, I'm the lucky one for sure.
I
So
think I think what's really cool about it sounds like we're all in really, really good marriages, relationships, about to be
I
marriages.
mean, like fucking props to us. That shit
I
is
am
fucking hard as fuck.
yes.
It,
And
uh,
my
oh,
point with that is I feel like and a lot of people can relate that we have probably all been in some pretty shitty relationships too.
oh,
Yep.
Relationships
yeah,
that almost broke us. But
yeah.
to go
Woof. Woof.
woof.
Woof. Yeah. Oh, shit. I need
But
a moment. Oh God. Fuck.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Literally.
Look at both of you.
Yeah,
Look
we
at
can.
both of you.
God.
Yeah.
Okay, we can move on now. Sorry. I had to like
And
have a
then
moment.
yeah, no, own that moment. And then you get into these relationships where you are safe, where you are valued, where you are appreciated as
Yeah.
as you are, not who they want you to be. You know,
And then
I
some of
have,
us just don't know how to act when that happens.
or just
Oh
like, you're
my
nice to
gosh.
me. That's weird.
Yeah. I think a lot of our fights for me and my wife have been like we're both self-sabotaging shit, like me more than anything. Like, and she's just like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I'm just
Yes.
like,
What do you mean?
"What do you mean? I'm supposed to be mad at you for nothing?"
You
Story of my
guys are going to get along
life.
great.
That's my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The energy
So,
has been very heavy lately,
Hmm.
and it's
hmm.
been very I've found it hard to breathe at times. Like I feel like I
Hmm.
can't get enough air. And I've been also prioritizing like every morning I get up and I come, this is my office, this is my sacred space that I built for this purpose.
I love
And
that.
it's got all my tarot cards, it has all my crystals, it has my incense, it has this is
It's so
my zone.
cool. It's
It's
so
so
cool.
fucking cool.
I love
Um
that.
I don't know if you like Harry Potter, but that's my
I'm a
office is
fan. I love
this is my
that.
Harry Potter office.
I love
Um
it.
but anyway, I come and I sit in my chair and I light my incense and I listen to some type of meditation that's grounding, something
Yes.
that's I'm really into Sunny the Witch. She's on YouTube and
I haven't
she
heard of
does
her.
I love
I'll
her.
have to
She's a
look her up.
yes, she's a shamanic Swedish witch.
Oh,
And so
Wow, that sounds
yeah,
so awesome.
and you have
yeah,
Frozen.
um yeah. So she works with the runes and so what?
Sorry, you froze. You froze.
And this is your face.
At least it wasn't, you know, it could have been way worse.
Could have been.
and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
so she works with the runes. And so I've been studying. I actually got my own rune set, with the stones.
Yes. Yep.
Um, and I got howlite because I love me a howlite.
Ooh.
And then
Those are the
so
white
that's how.
ones for people listening. They're
Yeah,
the
let
white
me go
stones.
find them.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Ow.
And do I have a highlight? Here's a highlight bracelet for me too. This is nice.
Oh,
Yes,
we
look, you guys
match.
twins.
Yeah. We match. Oh
And
my God. We totally do match. I actually took this from my wife. I stole it from her. Oh God, your elephant.
that's my elephant. He's okay.
Mine's
He's
in the
So,
adorable.
bathroom for some
yep,
reason.
I gave her an elephant to match mine, and I gave her that bracelet.
Love
Um,
that.
but these are the runes that I got, and they are so freaking pretty.
I love that. I actually also have runes as well, but mine are made out of wood.
Ooh.
And
Ooh,
yeah, and they were like custom made. So like I met a woman
yes.
out where I live and she was just like, I do this. And I was like, I want that. So
That was the Leo in you coming out.
Yes.
I
yeah.
need it right now.
Yeah.
Right
And
now.
she made them and they were like she like does it with like what is it, the wood burning
Oh yeah, yeah.
like thing.
Oh yeah, didn't you do that, Shauna?
I tried.
With
I tried
with
that.
my sign?
I tried.
I think
You
it's
did.
like very difficult. It takes some serious talent to do
They make
that.
it look so easy. So I was like, oh, I could do that. I could do that. And I was like, I cannot do that. Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's very difficult. So she made them, and so, but I have not yet studied them. Like I haven't gone as far as you've gone,
I
which is
think
really cool.
they're really cool. And then it's so funny because I started watching her probably like 3 months ago or so, and I felt very drawn to her. And I checked my 23andMe because they update it all the time and they add new
Hmm.
reports. And so
Yes,
one of them that they added was the historical matches, like your historical DNA matches. And I'm very much related to several Vikings warriors.
I
So it was
love that.
right.
That
So I
is
was like,
so
oh,
cool.
that's why I like this.
That's why it
Um,
resonates with you.
one of the things that I wanted to discuss with you, Sabrina, is that
Sure.
the world is crazy right now. There's a lot of really crazy energy. There's a lot. It's a lot
Woof.
going on.
Woof.
Um,
Yes.
and mental health is like one of our passions. So I was curious, as a medium, how are you dealing with this energy right now? What do you think about this energy right now? And how are you staying grounded during these like really difficult times?
Those are really great questions. Mental health is also a massive passion of mine as well, like huge. The Body Keeps the Score changed my life, period, hands down, like that book.
I'm writing it down on the
Really,
phone.
yeah, The Body Keeps the Score by Bessel van der Kolk. It's absolutely amazing. I love how she like shows her
Jot that down.
pen. Yeah.
The body keeps the
Um,
score. Okay.
The Body Keeps the Score. And basically like just really quickly what the body does, what the book describes is basically like um the brain does have a function, and the function, aside from like making sure your heart is pumping and everything, is to keep this body alive, and that is connected to the ego, and the ego is also like in the physical body, but it's also like one of like it's like part of the earth bonus package, like it's part of the earth package that you get, right? So when you come to earth, you get a body, it's all cool, you get to live on earth, it's like fucking beautiful. And then like but like one other thing that you get is you get an ego, and the ego, you also forget everything about who and where you everything, right? Like you don't know who you are, you don't know where you came from, you don't know anything, right? But the ego lets you know, like, hey, I got to keep this body alive. And that's going to become psychological, and that's also going to become physical, right? And um, what I have learned is that even the trauma that happened to me pre-verbally, before I could talk, before I could walk, and when I was in still diapers, my body still remembers. And I am, and even though like I may be completely oblivious in my entire life and in my like how I function and all of that stuff, my body knows what's going on, and my body's like, hey, this is how we survive, right? So the psychological part of that is like, well, I need to continue to hold on to my story that has worked for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I need to, make sure that I'm strong in this way, or I need to be a people pleaser in this way, or I need to make sure, like, there's just so many different ways that we become people pleasers, right? Or the ego manifests in different ways, is what I'm basically saying. And I think like the answer to your question isn't like so cut and dry. I think for me, it's like, well, the way I'm navigating this is I understand that I have an objective. My objective is to be the messenger, to help people um like learn to love themselves, to get rid of all of the shit. Like my main objective in my life, my purpose in my life is to help people learn to love themselves again. And
Love.
yes, and I love that part of what several books and what people are finding is that there's this thing called the ego, and the ego isn't bad. The ego is absolutely necessary, because without the ego, I wouldn't have these gorgeous hair and this like luscious
Hey,
curls, and
hey.
you wouldn't look as fucking hot as you are, right? Like, yeah, right. So the ego is like really fun and it's beautiful in this way, right? But the way the ego is getting in our own way is when we are blocking ourselves from realizing our full potential, our abundance, what could be going on, right? Versus what we think is going on. And so part of
Shauna.
I'm gonna go ahead and head out because this ain't about me, bitch.
so I just feel like a big part of my readings, and somebody put it in my live the other night. They were like, if you really want to figure out how to like come into your abundance, get a reading with this girl. And I was just like, I love
Literally,
to hear it. I love to hear
literally.
it because I mean I can do the like, is he coming back? What's he thinking? Like I can do those readings. But frankly, why do you want him back?
Boom.
Ew. Ugh.
Ew.
Ew. Like
Ick.
you're so much better than that, right? And like, so I think that's where I'm at. So I'm like, sure, yeah, he's gonna come back and he's gonna be a fuckboy again, and just give it 2 weeks, and it'll be like you guys will be back in the same cycle. But if you don't want to do that anymore, here's how you get out of it.
Boom.
And that's where my focus is, because I was in that energy for the longest time, and I figured out, oh, the reason why I'm with a fuckboy is because I am saying that it's okay to be with a fuckboy.
Shauna.
I don't think you could tell, but as she said that, I was staring directly at you.
Really? You're like, mm-hmm.
Ain't that right? Yeah, no,
Yeah.
what you're saying
Yeah,
is it's so
it's
interesting.
tough.
You talk about your purpose, and when did you discover that was your purpose, and how did you discover that was your purpose?
I love how as soon as you asked me that question, I'm like, fuck. Like, I think,
Fucking A.
fuck. But this does go back to a moment when I was in the fifth grade, actually.
Okay.
And so there was a moment in the fifth grade where I saw apparitions. And
Ooh.
it wasn't like it was one moment, but I saw, excuse me, throat chakra
Confirmation
blockage.
burp.
Confirmation.
I always be burping. It's fine.
Thank you. I love this so much. You guys are my people.
Whoa, whoa,
I don't
whoa.
know. Come back into focus. Focus. Christina, focus. Sorry. I think that's actually our actually nothing is a coincidence. I think they're telling us to focus, literally. I
But
need to answer the question.
what the fuck?
She's all like, work.
What? Okay, go ahead, guys. Go ahead, you were
Wait,
saying.
turn off your camera and then turn it back on.
Okay, so let's just
Um,
continue and we'll deal with it later.
okay.
Fifth
So
grade, hit it.
fifth grade, I had an apparition and it was a massive apparition. And I'll just cut to the point where like I'll skip over the part where like a priest came and talked to me, but like we're just gonna
Why
yeah.
would you skip that? That's
This
amazing.
all sounds terrifying.
This
Terrifying.
is religious trauma, ladies and gentlemen.
Mm.
So I feel like I was born and raised Catholic, and I mean, honestly, I think for the most part, I really loved it. Like, and I was an altar server. I went to Catholic school, um, and there was a moment there where like I did want to be a nun, and then I discovered sex, and then I was like, I'm cool, like I'm all right now.
Never mind.
So you never
Couldn't
mind.
be
Just
me. Could
kidding.
not be
I
me.
love God,
Yeah,
but woo.
just kidding. There's got to be another way, right? Like, and still have sex, guys. Like, this can't be the only way. Happy to say I figured it out.
Woo!
That was a close one.
Praise
Mhm.
Jesus.
Praise him. Praise him. I wanted to talk about what had happened to me with like a priest because I was like, they're close to Jesus, like they've got to know this shit, right? I had no idea in the fifth grade that like seeing apparitions and talking to God and God talking back to you was a sign of the devil.
Right.
So
Right.
actually that's like the most legit and real shit right there. So anyway, I remember going to bed that night feeling like just embarrassed, humiliated, scared, like all those things. And I remember just kind of going like, take it away. Like I grew up knowing that when I prayed, there was an answer. So I'm clairaudient. I have been clairaudient my entire life.
Can you explain what
So
that is to anybody that doesn't know?
yeah, clairaudient is when you have, I guess, like the clairsentience where you can hear um people talking to you and they're not there, or you can hear like your spirit guides or your ancestors or whatever, right?
Let me ask you
And
this just for clarification.
sure,
When you are clairaudient, do you hear it as if it was in the room or do you hear it
it's a great
inside your
question.
head?
It's like in your mind for me, but there
Okay.
have been moments where it was so like that is not outside of my brain, that is like right here.
Okay.
Does that
And there
scare you? Like, does that freak you out sometimes?
there
Or
was,
did it?
yeah, I mean, there was it's not typically like that. But there were times like ever since I was little where I would talk and there would be an answer and I knew it wasn't me. I knew, like, I never had the question if I was crazy when I was little because I knew it wasn't me. I knew it was God, right? And so I remember like telling him like, whatever this is, we're not doing that anymore. Take it away. And they were like, but you need this, like, this is like part of the plan. And I was just like, fuck the plan is stupid. Take it away, turn it off, don't turn it back on until I said so. And they're like, and there was like a negotiation. It was just like, but and it was like it came with a lot of love, and it was like, are you sure, like you really need this, like you need this now, it's going to help you. And I remember them showing me like me in my 40s because my parents were in my 40s, or in their 40s, sorry, and they were showing me like when you're this age, like that's when it's really going to matter. I'm turning 41 this month, and
Pop off.
mm,
I'm so
so
excited.
I know, right? So they're like, you're going to really need this, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck, turn that shit off. I
Especially at
also,
that age.
yeah, and I also
Yeah.
grew up in East LA, so like the potty mouth was like in full effect. So I was just like, no. So I I was still like a devout Catholic. I studied theology, like I read the doctrine, I read the Bible cover to cover. Don't remember like Bible verses like other people can, but like I got like it's in there.
Yeah.
Um and and I just like I did all of my sacraments, all everything. But then I went to like flash forward to, I think it was like sometime around the time that I was like dating my ex-husband, um, engaged and all that kind of stuff. And I got a lot of like in my heart and in my mind messages like, you shouldn't do this. And I was
Mm.
just like, stop fucking with
Shauna.
me. Sean.
She knows exactly what
Yeah,
I'm thinking at all times.
I love this.
I should
Keep
have
going.
listened.
Keep
Like,
going.
I should have
Yes,
listened.
I know. And I think this is the story for a lot of people. And I remember just saying, like, shut the fuck, I'm gonna do what I want. It's my life, you know? So I got married. And
Fucking same.
so I mean, it wasn't all bad. I have like my two beautiful kids, and it's it's worked out for the best. But there was a moment there where I cracked. I was like my awakening, right? And I wish my awakening was as beautiful as yours, Christina. It was not. It was a hot mess. It was messy, and it was like the most chaotic birth
But I
ever.
think it's really important that people
Yeah,
do realize that it can come
Yeah.
beautifully or
yeah.
chaotically. And honestly, if you think about my own, it was beautiful in that moment, but going through that experience
Oh
was
my
the
gosh.
hardest of my life,
Yeah.
just like yours was the
Absolutely.
hardest of your life. Becoming awakened, for me, in my opinion, is not, the God shining down on you and there's a light and you just feel.
Yeah.
To me, it was in the middle of a tower moment. I had
Oh,
to hit
absolutely.
the bottom of the motherfucking barrel and claw with every ounce of strength that I could summon out of it. That was my awakening, was realizing, look, bitch, you can do this. You
Yes.
can crawl out of the darkest time, the darkest moment, and turn it into, alchemize it, and turn it into the beautiful moment of your life. So I really appreciate that you said it was chaotic, it was ugly, it was difficult. I think
It
that's,
was nasty. It was
yeah.
so bad. But I love that you bring up the tower card, because that's actually like people look at that tower card and they're like, Ay, Santa Maria, and I'm just like, no, dude, like this is your moment. This is to show them like, is this your tower moment or is this your power moment?
Mm.
Like, is this the moment that you're gonna shine or is this the moment you're gonna like crumble,
And on that, to piggyback off of that, you
Yeah.
talk a lot about it in several of your lives, but the free will. We as
Mm-hmm.
humans have free will. And I'm actually in the middle of writing a book about my healing journey. And one of
Love
the
that.
things that I talk about is free will. And you choose every day how you react to these things that are maybe out of your control, right?
You have the
And
power of choice every single moment
exactly,
of every single day.
every single one. And that includes in those tower moments. So
Especially.
you can look at that tower moment, or you could look at that tower card, and you can either go, or you can go, this is an opportunity. This is
Mhm.
my moment. So I really love that you touched on that, because I think it's
Thank
something
you.
that a lot of people don't grasp. They think they're put in these shitty situations and they have no choices in it. But your choice
Yeah.
is up here and your
Well, your
choice is
choice
in
is,
here.
I mean, this is the ego, right? This goes back to the ego, right? And that's the reason why I like to talk about it, because a lot of people who are finding themselves stuck in the same cycle, or they're like, I just can't bring myself to call an attorney. I can't bring myself to divorce them. I can't bring myself to quit and start my own business. I can't do like there's just all of that, right? They're like, I can't do it. And it's just like, well, that's because it requires you to choose something different.
Because it's
It requires
uncomfortable.
it's uncomfortable, right? And that's the reason why a lot of millionaires and billionaires will say you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable,
Mm-hmm.
right? That is where real magic happens. So moving forward in that story of like how did this happen, right? Like um I remember I've always been able to like I had like friends that I'd be like because people always came to me right? People always came to me, asked me for advice. I always just knew what to say, and people would always just be like, "Shit, Serena, like that actually worked," and I'm like, "Mm-hmm." So
Is this why I'm a hairdresser?
Shocking.
Like,
it
Yeah.
honestly could be. Yes, honestly, yes. So I remember I had a really good friend, and we've since parted ways, and I send her a lot of love. But like, I remember like doing over the phone like readings for her but without cards. I didn't have a deck yet, and because of all of the religious indoctrination, I was just like, I'm not going to have a deck. You know, I had even had readings for myself before, but I was just like, I don't want to have a deck. So I remember like talking to my guides. By this point, we were tight, like we were really tight. And I remember telling him, like, if you really want me to have a deck, you'll find a way for it to come to me. And they were like, bet, hold my beer.
let
So
me send this in the mail.
yeah, pretty much. And so I that friend, she had invited me to go with her on a business trip, and she was just like, "Do you want to come with me? Like I don't want to be alone." And I was like, "Yeah, let's go." So she was like, "I got you something, and it's this." And it was my very first deck. I was like, "How did you know?" And she was just like, I went to the store with these other friends and I picked this one up, and it was actually the Biddy Tarot. It's by Biddy Tarot, and it's the Everyday Tarot, and it's a tiny purple, white, and gold deck.
Mm. Hmm.
And it's so cute and it's so
It is.
affordable and I love it. And I was just like, oh, like you know me. Like, it was just like, oh, I love you, you know? And literally like all the work that I was supposed to do that weekend on that business trip that like I was working remote and I had stuff to do and I was just like, fuck that. I'm gonna do this. Like, and I was literally obsessed. I couldn't
Yes.
stop. And I remember like being in the car on our way back, and I was just like, would you be offended if I just like kept doing this? And she's like, no, do it. And I literally came up with all of these questions to ask. I was like, what about this? Is he cheating on her? Is this going on? Is this blah, blah, blah? Like, and I just could not stop. I could not stop. But I've always had like stage fright. I'm a classically trained musician. I play viola. I played viola professionally. And I
You're
always
so cool.
Yeah, you're so cool.
oh, you guys.
Wow, you're so
Oh,
cool. I'm just sitting here like,
thank you.
wow.
That's why I'm
You
just
guys are
not talking
awesome.
much because I'm just like,
Yeah,
Oh my
just
God, you guys are so thank
we're like
you. Thank you. You guys are
fangirling, like, oh, you're so
oh, I
cool.
love you guys. Thank you so much.
Aren't you a
Um,
singer too?
I'm a closet singer-songwriter, yes. You guys
I'm a
are
singer
making me
too. That's
blush.
why I'm
Really?
like, yes. You know what's
Aw.
wild? Wait, pause. So you have a
Yes.
shit ton in common with Shauna, but you also
Mm,
have a shit ton in common with me.
I love that. So we're all
It's
energetically aligned.
yes. Thank you.
I
You
love
took it
that
right out
so
of my mouth.
much.
what the
Okay,
fuck is
I
so
that?
love that. It's a
that's
cute
your
hair
hair.
strand. It's beautiful. Beautiful.
So speaking of
So,
tarot decks,
yeah.
I love that you were talking about how you grew up Catholic and you kind of had this like aversion, because of
I mean,
religious
it was just
indoctrine.
like kind of everybody knew, but I did kind of find my way into the charismatic Catholic people. So I actually
Uh-huh.
got my gift of tongues when I was 15, and I was with like a youth group, and there's a religious conference that happens in Anaheim,
Oh,
California
okay.
every year. It's a Catholic religious conference, and I remember I was with like a youth group and I went, and my youth group leader was like, we're gonna go to this one, like this mass is the shit. And I was like, what does that mean? And he
We have
was
different
like,
definitions,
I
sir.
know, right? And he was just like, no, this is the mass that you want to go to. And apparently, this is where all the charismatic